Monday, the first official work day of the week. Today being the second Monday in the month of October 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform. This is the pinnacle of all discussions. We take a look at critical issues as it affects our dear nation, Nigeria, and also as it affects our dear state, Abia State. The pinnacle of all discussions is back on radio. The program comes up on radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. My name is Michael Oni. So welcome on board. Let's quickly go straight to what we have for you today. The End Sars protest. Of course, it took a couple of days before the Inspector General of Police yesterday, Mohammed Adamu, announced the dissolution of the police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. We will be looking at that dissolution. The police chief also announced major police reforms, including the formation of an investigative team, which will include civil society and human rights groups for the purpose of investigating alleged cases of human rights violations by the police. The dissolution of the SARS is coming on the heels of the End SARS protest nationwide. It ended day 5 yesterday before the IGP ordered the dissolution of that police unit, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Although the campaigners are saying no back down until they hear from Mr. President himself, and they are demanding an executive order disbanding the squad. In fact, as I speak to you now, some group of youths are presently protesting in the capital of Umuahia, the capital of Abia State, which is Umuahia. After days of public outcry, nationwide protest, IGP bowed to pressure yesterday. We will hear from the IGP this morning. Of course, it was a live broadcast yesterday, being Sunday. The IGP, who reports directly to the Nigerian president from whom he receives directives, made that announcement at a press conference at the force headquarters. A statement on the announcement was also circulated by the police spokesperson, Frank Mba. The SARS, is a police unit, and that particular unit has been accused of extortion, harassment, and murder of many young Nigerians. In fact, some persons also died during the protest across the country. The police have violently dispersed the protests in many Nigerian cities also, leading to the death of some Nigerian youths, not forgetting the one that died in Ogbomosho, that's in Oyo State, one Jimo Isiak. And of course, despite the police action, the protesters remained undeterred, and with many local and international celebrities also joining in the call for police reform. And they're saying that it is not only they don't need announcement only, they want the president to address them, and also that it should go beyond announcing a ban, that there should be an executive order, a presidential order backing that ban. Although we will be speaking on that, the legality of that presidential order, and also some other issues surrounding the SARS, how SARS also started in Nigeria. We will also be looking at that this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM. Welcome on board. It is the pinnacle of all discussions.
94.9 FM. We've got conducive and well-secured environment for business. High-tech video studio, a state-of-the-art production studio. You can also listen live on www.flow949fm.com and watch our videos on YouTube at Flow FM TV. Flow 94.9 FM, not just radio, but a complete broadcasting house.
All right, that's the Inspector General of Police yesterday there when he announced the dissolution of the Federal Anti-Robbery Squad, the FSARS. Well, let's go straight to the discussion today. I have in the studio Barrister Nwokocha, the Abia State and the woman in charge of the National Human Rights Commission. Madam, you're welcome again to the studios of Flow 94.9 FM. She's a regular.
Thank you very much.
All right, and we're also having someone joining us virtually. Dr. Mrs. Aisha Tosan is reputed to have professionalized crime reporting in Nigeria with Crime Fighters, The Police and You, a popular TV program dedicated to crime reporting and activities of the police. She's also the MD of By Communication Limited. She joins us this morning to take a look at issues surrounding the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. You're welcome, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Tosan.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you're live on Flow 94.9 FM. Now, I will begin with you, then later turn to Barrister Wokocha in the studio here. Can you tell us what led to the formation of SARS unit that was in 1992?
Oh, yeah. If you recall, those days during the military era, we had a situation where armed robbers were crisscrossing states and hijacking vehicles on the highway, particularly vehicles like luxury bus traveling from one state to another state. And so the leaders of the country then decided that they should have something that is called Federal Anti-Robbery Squad. Federal Anti-Robbery Squad was meant to go from one highway to the other highway to ensure that travelers travel freely on the highways without armed robbers attacking them. If you recall, then you hear stories of luxury bus drivers being attacked on the highway, particularly when they are traveling from Lagos to Abuja or from Lagos to the east. You hear that armed robbers have attacked luxury buses, or they have hijacked vehicles on the road between Shagamu, Kebode, between Lokoja and Abuja. Usually you hear such stories. So it was as a result of that, the IG then decided to come up with what they called Federal Anti-Robbery Squad that was headed by Fulani Kwajafa, the retired CP.
Interesting. Many years after its formation, what can you say the unit has contributed positively to the Nigeria Police Force?
In fact, I think we should. People who are protesting seem to have short memories of what Anti-Robbery Squad has done. In fact, if you recall, the same Anti-Robbery Squad, they go in from here to Benin Republic to Ghana to fight robbers. If you remember, then there was one armed robber they called Priboye. He used to come into Nigeria. He would hijack vehicles on the road. In fact, they go in chain, in convoys. They attack vehicles, snatch Nigerian vehicles in convoy, and drive from Nigeria to Benin Republic or to Ghana or to Burkina Faso. If you remember, this section actually stopped the influx of international robbers into Nigeria, hijacking Nigerian vehicles, killing Nigerians, and then ferrying Nigerian vehicles to Benin Republic, to Burkina Faso, and to other West African countries. This is outside the fact that you also have our own Nigerian children who also are involved in robbery. They will rob in one state, take it to another state, and the vehicles are recovered. People are arrested, culprits are arrested by this same action that.
Hello? Oh, since we have issues with the connection there, we will get back to her. But let me come back to the studio. I do have, let's look at the human rights angle as we try to, work on the connection there. Barrister, this is not the first time we're having protests in Nigeria, but I would like you to run us through the legality of this process of protesting before we get something from the government.
Thank you very much. I must say that SARS is one of those failed dreams of Nigeria.
Okay.
It's an organization that started so well to meet a demand, to solve a problem. They were doing it, but somehow it was hijacked.
Hijacked?
Yes,
What
and
do you mean by
criminalized.
hijacked?
People, officers who are working there started doing something they were not supposed to do. SARS was primarily established for robberies, armed robberies, kidnapping, and other serious felony.
That's actually.
All of a sudden, SARS operatives started arresting prostitutes.
And it became a rogue unit.
Started arresting prostitutes, settling husband and wife's problem.
All right.
Doing all sorts of things. Stopping vehicles along the road arresting young men and women, extorting money, even kidnapping people,
Okay.
and then indulging in extrajudicial killings,
we
the like of which Nigerians have never witnessed before. So the people started shouting. There's no family in the southeast that do not have one horrible story or the other to tell about SARS.
I'm sorry for cutting your line of thoughts. We will look at the legality and what SARS should, the roles of this particular unit just after this. But let's take Dr. Tosan so that we can let her go. Finally, you mentioning the positivity of this unit, but you heard Barrister Nwokocha in the studio here as she has a long list of some of the negativity of this particular unit. Don't you think the negativity overshadowed the positivity?
No, I totally disagree with her with that assertions that the negativity overshadows the positivity. Let's not forget that we're talking about an institution. So you must have some people you must have some deviance in an institution. The fact that some minute negligence of some people in the system, went the other way does not mean the entire system is bad. That's what we're saying. Yes, we have a few of them that are bad. We acknowledge it. I'm a Nigerian. It will be difficult. I won't sit here and tell you that we don't have people who have experienced, some form of abuse by these SARS. But are we saying that all the members of SARS are bad? Are we saying that these SARS have not done one good thing or the other? We Nigerians were quick to condemning our system. So what alternative do they have to SARS? Don't we have robbers still operating? So who will fight robbery or kidnapping? We understand that there are infractions, no doubt about that. But let's also understand that we have a delicate situation in our hands. You have kidnapping, you have all sorts of crime. So we can't wish away the fact that these people are also working, and in the process they also lose their lives. They pay the supreme price. Let's also give them. Let's give them some credit.
You mentioned that this unit was formed to combat cases of armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crimes. But over time, this particular unit has gained notoriety for its reckless intimidation of innocent civilians, wanton abuse of power, harassment of young Nigerians, and you call it minute. Do you think it is minute?
I said infractions.
Okay.
I use the word infractions. And don't forget that over time, the police have tried, particularly under this dispensation, that they've tried to reform that system. In a bid to do that, that does not mean every individual will conform. You will still have one or two persons that will go off the line. And if you recall, you will discover that most of them are being punished. Most of them are dismissed. It's not as if the system, accepted, some of these infractions that they get into. No, if you listen to most of the time, I know that a majority of them, once the authority gets to hear that these people has abused the rights of any Nigerian, they get them arrested, particularly when there are facts that these people have arrested or killed or extorted anybody. They arrest them. Some of them are dismissed. Some of them are even charged to court. Some of them that got involved in killing innocent Nigerians are charged to court. They are facing the consequences in court. That is the only thing the system can do. They are Nigerians. There's nothing we can do other than arrest, dismiss them, and let them face the consequences of their action in the law court.
Okay, the protest by many young Nigerians, do you think it is the right way to go about this police brutality, fight against police brutality?
I would have expected them to listen to the IG, particularly when they started, and the IG immediately was swift enough to say that he was going to get the section reformed. Actually, he has actually started the reform, because he has sent some of them back to school. He has started talking to the heads of the section. He has gotten, a lot of them, before he took over as IG, they decentralized, they brought SARS under force headquarters. Usually SARS used to operate under force headquarters, not in state command. But unfortunately, states started, taking some police stations started usurping the role of SARS and started calling themselves SARS. And that was why the IG decided that, look, there will be a reform. The commissioners of police in different states should be in charge of SARS, and that they will be held responsible for any infractions caused by these SARS officials. So the IG has actually started. They would have listened to the IG, give him the benefit of the doubt, let them see what he's doing. Particularly, is a man, since he took over the mantle of leadership, he has done his best to begin to bring into friction one reform or the other in the system.
Okay, I would like to take you on the way forward, but that will be later on. But some persons argue that the problem of SARS is not too far from general problem of the Nigeria police force. Can we also look at the recruitment process into police?
The general problem of the Nigeria police force is the general problem of Nigeria. Don't forget that Nigeria police force is Nigeria. So we cannot take Nigeria police force from the system of Nigeria. What system do we have in Nigeria? Let's look across all the sectors of this country. So when you talk about Nigeria police, we're actually talking about ourselves.
All right. A decision has been taken, Dr. Tosan. What is the way forward? Because
I think the IG has done the right thing.
Okay.
He has listened to the voice, to the yearning of the youth of Nigeria, and he has scrapped SARS. So I think it's left for the authority to see how do we fight the violent crimes that is staring at us. We have kidnapping, we have robbers, we have insurgency. So how do we fight these various crimes that are actually threatening our lives?
All right, Dr. Mrs. Aisha Tosan, thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform on Flow 94.9 FM.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All right, Barrister Uchen Wakocha, thank you very much for your patience. Now, let's look at some of the issues. You've heard Dr. Mrs. Tosan, reputed to have professionalized crime reporting in Nigeria for over 30 years now. And she mentioned some issues. I don't know, I'm sure you want to respond to some of those issues. The problem with the Nigeria police force and SARS is a Nigeria problem and not the police problem.
Well, I don't agree with her completely.
Okay.
Why I don't agree with her completely? Yes, we have a problem in Nigeria, but then at a point, SARS stopped solving the problem it was meant to solve. We know there is an increase in kidnapping. There is an increase in armed robbery. We even have an introduction of new crimes. We have now what we call banditry. We have a killer headsman. We have all these things. Instead of crimes to be abating, they are increasing. New ones are being introduced daily. Ritual killing is on the high, and we have SARS. And every day, these SARS people were operating, arresting people, killing people, doing all manner of things. So they completely deviated from the objectives of setting the unit up and started doing something else. In short, they turned kidnappers and armed robbers themselves, carrying about POS and extorting money from people. And the young people in the southern Nigeria were the worst off for it. Like I said, I understand what she's saying. She's speaking from her own side. I am speaking as a staff of National Human Rights Commission. We receive most of the complaints against SARS and other forms of police brutality.
Okay.
This has prompted, it's not today we start discussing problems of SARS. Twice, the president has set up panel to investigate abuses by SARS. The last one in 2019 was anchored by National Human Rights Commission. If you were in the panel, if you hear what people were saying, and even the SARS officers were invited, they had no explanation for what they are doing.
Let's look at the legality of some of the actions of the officers of this special unit. It's been disbanded now, although some of the protesters are saying now we're not backing down until we hear from Mr. President, and there is a presidential order backing this disbandment. But let's look at the legality, Barrister and Wokocha in the studio. Is it proper for SARS operatives to stop you and search your phone in the name of looking for criminals? Is it proper for SARS operatives to judge you by your dress? Maybe you're putting on a dreadlock, or you're putting on a 3/4. These are some of the issues that the Nigerian youths are clamoring for on the streets.
Of course it is not. It is not. That is what I'm saying. Yes, they may have solved some...
But they will come out and say, how do you expect us to carry out our activities? These are some of the traits showed by the criminals we are looking for.
They are just begging the question. They are looking for means of extortion. Now, how many of those people have they arrested? Then after screening their phone and not seeing anything, they allow them to go. Once you are picked, you are not allowed to go until you are extorted. How many of them? If we hear that they get somebody's phone, after looking at the phone, if there's nothing there, they will give you your phone. Or if they pick your laptop, there's nothing there, they will return your laptop for you. That's not what the kind of complaint National Human Rights Commission receives. The complaint to us is that even though there is this, and they have this terminology, I follow and I no follow. If you have anything to do with any suspected crime, that means you are among the criminals. Your own price for bail is different. If you are not involved, your own price for bail is different. Nobody that is arrested by SARS escapes extortion. Then talking about the torture thing is, somebody will come, they will just pick some people on the street and start torturing them, trying to get confessions from them for a crime nobody committed about. We've gone to courts and arraigned people for armed robbery, kidnapping, and assorted kind of, felonies. And who is the complainant? How do you know these things happened? Then you won't see them again, because they will now drop everything at the table of the prosecutor, who was never part of the investigation, calling them to come and bear witness, if the IPO to come and testify. You won't see them. They are the reason why we have so many people awaiting trial in prison.
You're supporting the disbandment of SARS.
Of course, I'm so happy about it. I'm celebrating it.
And then how do we fight crime? How do we fight armed robbery, kidnapping, and other violent crimes? This unit
exactly.
Was
some people are asking for proclamation from the president. I want something else from the federal government.
Which is?
I want them to fund police properly. I want them to fund police properly.
So are you saying if police is well funded, if the police force is well funded, we won't have a need for a unit known as SARS?
Of course. If the police is well funded and they have the right equipment and they have the right forensics, of course we won't need SARS. Every police officer will be capable of dealing with any kind of crime that comes on board. Of course, before the SARS came on board, we have the MOPO, the mobile police. They are stationed somewhere. If there is need for, arrest of violent criminals, if there's operations by violent criminals, they normally come out and then they will face those people squarely, and they were working.
Okay,
but like I said, there are a lot of things that happen in the police force because of lack of equipment.
All right, I would like us to look at the use of force by the same Nigeria police force on the protesters. In fact, some Nigerians lost their lives. In Oyo State, the case of one Jimo Ishaq, that was yesterday in Ogbomosho, in Oyo State, when police, it was on Saturday, he was buried on Sunday, when unfortunately he got shot, and during that protest, and the use of hot water on some of them in Abuja, and the use of tear gas. How are we expected to disperse crowd how are the police expected to disperse crowd, the proper conduct of protest in this country?
That has always been a problem with the police in Nigeria. You see that most riots during protest are started by the police.
Why did you say
exactly that? Most of the time the people will be protesting peacefully, normally. The police will go there and start one problem or the other. You see that they start throwing tear gas, or they start shouting on the people, or they want to disband the people.
What if they acting on orders to disperse the crowd?
There is no order that is above the Nigerian Constitution. Section 39 of the Constitution allows people to express themselves, to talk about their problems, and Section 40 allows people the right to peaceful assembly and association. These people are not doing anything wrong. By the way, let me start by saying it was not only the police that killed. Some policemen were also killed. Yes. So I would like to say send my condolences to these victims' families. I also know that some people were injured, both the police and the protesters.
Now,
I would like to say, wish them quickest recovery.
It brings to question the peaceful conduct of protests in the country. A police station was overrun, I think, in Ijebu-Ode, also during that conduct of that protest.
What prompted the running down of the police station? You mean the protesters were just walking down the road and
overran a police station, sent away the policemen, and destroyed properties in that same police station?
In that case, the protesters were wrong. But most of the time, the protesters were wrong.
Now,
if they were protesting for something, they should be protesting for what they were protesting for.
It's now been said that the criminals already hijacked the protest of End Sars, and because the same people that are, according to some school of thought, the same people that are calling for End Sars are criminals because they don't want SARS to stay.
In our National Human Rights, after the panel of 2019 I told you about, we actually recommended that SARS should be scrapped. Exactly. Does that make us criminals? You know, people just say whatever they want to say. The obvious thing that everybody knows that this unit of the police has become a problem to Nigerians and is embarrassment to the Nigerian police. There's no doubt about it. And the people did not accept the reform by the Inspector General of Police because such a reform has happened before. Such instructions, do this and don't do this, have been issued to SARS before.
This is the first time SARS has been banned in the country. Exactly.
But somehow it doesn't last for 2 weeks, and they will go back to what they used to be. So I like the way the IGP scrapped SARS. It's a very courageous thing for him to do. He's a man of his words, and he has been trying really to bring to some sanity to the Nigerian police.
Now, do you think this banning will hold waters? This is not the first time SARS has been banned in the country.
This is the first time SARS. No. I'm not aware of any banning of SARS before.
They've been
what I'm aware of is reformation in SARS.
Okay.
This is the first, to my knowledge, this is the first time SARS is being banned. Scrapped, removed entirely, and its officers, its personnel, asked to go back to their state, to normal policing.
Now, that's where many Nigerians are concerned that the same set of people, the named SARS, has been removed from the Nigeria Police Force. But this same set of people, the officers running SARS, are being deployed to other departments in the police force. Is the problem the name or the problem the officers?
Both.
How?
Because these officers, because they are called SARS, they've taught themselves to act in a particular way. They go about carrying arms, terrorizing people in their homes, in their workplaces, on the road. You see them all the time. Now, if they are removed from that unit of SARS and they are planted into other police stations where they will be monitored and supervised by the DPOs, they will not be able to run off handle as they normally do. I will not suggest or advise the IGP to dismiss them. No. I will not advise the IGP to punish all of them. No. But we hope that this scrapping of SARS does not end investigation, punishment, prosecution of those of them who have been indicted for crimes against Nigerians and other human rights abuses, particularly those of them involved in torture and extrajudicial killings.
So some people are of the opinion that they should have been retrained before being absorbed into other units in the police force.
The IGP is talking about training and retraining of policemen. I don't know the ones that he's going to train. In short, all of them need training. All the policemen. The police work is the kind of work when you are doing, you need training and retraining all the time. Because new issues keep coming up. There are new emerging issues in policing. It is not the way it is done last year that is being done today. So the personnel need training and retraining. It is not some of the weapons that are being used now, equipment that are being used now, that were being used yesterday. So they need training and retraining. So what we are saying is this. These officers that were inducted, that were found culpable, they should face the music. They should not be allowed to go, because allowing them to go will be giving false information to other officers that you can do anything and you get away with it. But prosecuting them, punishing them, will act as a deterrent to others. And here I will commend the IGP. We are now witnessing an Inspector General of Police that actually goes out to, try to sanitize the Nigerian police.
All right, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, Monday edition, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state. Of course, the discussion is still about the End SARS protest. Of course, day 6 today, because we are still having protests in different locations in Nigeria. We want to have your feedback, your opinion today, this morning on the program. 0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. You can also drop messages on our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Flow949FM. We have a live video feed there. You can also drop messages both on our WhatsApp and and SMS line 0906-510-8289. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning, my parents, my legal lawyer in the studio. Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
I remember Mr. Prince Will Oswago calling here from Omonachi Noble local government area in Imo State.
You're welcome, Mr. Prince Will.
Mike, can I ask you a question?
Yes, please go on.
Is SARS different from Nigerian police?
SARS is was a unit under Nigeria police before it was disbanded yesterday.
All right. The hand is not different from the other part of the body. So I quite disagree with the second participant, one Yoruba woman there. I think somebody does who is defending the Nigerian police. For me, I am not against disbandment of Nigerian SARS. Rather, I'm against the body called itself the Nigerian police, because what is smelling on a he goat is inside of the he goat. Why am I saying that? Watch a pig, comb a pig, take a pig to London, a pig remains a pig. What I have wanted the IGP to do is this: let him completely overhaul the Nigerian police, including that of their that hand called SARS. There's no way you can expunge an acronym SARS and the body is still there. Tomorrow, what we're experiencing from the SARS will be there. So let the entire Nigerian police be overhauled.
All right.
SARS, be completely trained so that they should have a complete reorientation of themselves. They should not be doing what they're doing now. That's my thing, and God bless you, my brother.
Thank you, Mr. Prince Will. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, Mike. How are you?
I'm fine. Good morning.
Yeah. Barrister Uchemokocha, how are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. I want to align my opinion with that of Barrister. The disbandment
All right. You didn't
SARS
mention your name.
is a welcome development. My name is Pastor Ifan Emmanuel.
All right, Pastor.
Yeah, I'm calling from Bausi, Salangwa North. Yeah, it is true that they still were infused into the Nigerian police force. But then, like the IG has mentioned, there should be reorientation, retraining. You see, the brutality of the police force on the citizenry, it has taken a different dimension. And these things have to be aggressively approached. And we pray that every measure that will be taken to stop the, killing, the brutality, name it, of the Nigerian police.
All right, Pastor, thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you.
Michael, good morning.
Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning to your guest.
Good
Yeah,
morning.
this is don't take a guy for real.
All right.
Yeah, I know that this is a trending issue. It's last week. I see him maintain the fact. And I see acknowledge the fact that the intention of establishing SARS, Special Anti-Robbery Force, is bad. Yes, I remember vividly that it was on the highways that robbers they used to attack people, travelers. And it's one of the reasons why they were being established. But this is it. Anyway, they're going on the line. They move out from the main reason of establishing them. The channel they are doing channel them is no longer the way they are operating. And the reason why I see full of people who are asking for them to remove them, but not to come them from that unit. But remove.
Don't kiss the guy for real. Seems we have issues with your connection there. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mike. And good morning, Barry and the studio.
Good morning.
Patrick, and I'm calling from Ecuador.
All right.
The banning of the SARS is a welcome development because these people initially they were doing what they were assigned for, but the long run, I don't know where they all got different ideas from, and it became something terrible on the road. When you are traveling on the highway, believe me, when you see SARS, there's something that just comes into your mind. If you are innocent or guilty, you'll be scared of them. So I feel nothing bad in people complaining that banning of SARS is a wrong call to Nigeria. It's a welcome development, and I believe that the presidency and then the police will find another means. Of course, they will find another means of which they will fight crime and other insurgency in the country. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. The hashtag has changed right now, according to what we have on Twitter. SARS must end. That's what is being used right now on Twitter, and SARS must go. Because if you tweet with SARS, end SARS now, it's going to show you spam on Twitter. But we've got messages right now. Eric says majority up to 80%, in my opinion, not few, of SARS operatives are very bad. As a matter of fact, they have aided most of our other crimes in society, directly or indirectly. SARS should be banned and the police completely overhauled or reformed with contributions from the general public and judiciary. That's coming from Eric. Good morning, my presenter. My name is Oga Diego. The set of people called SARS, such name is not allowed, and not allowed to live among us. They are involved in kidnapping, robbery, and murder, more rebels to barrister. All right. Please, a group of innocent association were arrested by Sars at Imo State Monday last week, thrown into the state CI prison since Monday last week. Please tell them to release them. Thanks from Blessing. Okay, you should know the reason behind their arrest initially, so that we can have an idea what happened. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, gentlemen.
Yes, you're welcome.
Good morning, Barrister and
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Martin Meribe. I'm calling from Mumbai.
All right, Martins.
Yeah, my contribution towards banning or sacking Sars. The welcome development, but my own suggestion is that total overhaul should be done to Nigerian police. They manner they handle their job. See it as barbaric. It's not, they are not doing the normal job. As what I see from overseas, how they do their job, they approach their depot. When a policeman approaches you, you will see that he's really trained. But the way they do things here, you see, so a policeman can come to your study, he slap you, he just continue bullying on you. That's a way of doing things. So Nigerian police should be restructured and recultured. If you want a good meat from a he-goat, you want you need a meat to eat. But you need a one that is not smelling. But you are still going to go to talk of meat. The same smell you get from the one you are rejecting is what you are going to get. So I believe that the Nigerian police should be restructured totally and recultured. Culture. That is my own contribution.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution on the. On our Facebook page, Emeka Nathan says scrapping Sars is a welcome development and commend IGP for restoring sanity, in the police force. Jerry Prophet Brown says scrapping or disbanding for me, I feel, is not the right way to go. It will just be the case of old wine in a new bottle. All they need to do is to educate, sensitize, retrain, and pass a bill that checkmate not only SARS but the entire police force. All right. Let's see if we can take this. Then we'll wrap up the program this morning. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, my name is Uche Abu.
All right, Uche.
Okay, I greet the woman that is with the restaurant culture.
Good morning, Uche.
Okay. Is the issue of stabbing fast? I think, to me, from this that happened, I understood that Nigerian police or security agency doesn't have what is called internal security. Because this, what triggered this, has been happening for a very period of long time. It's just that it's one of the big shots in Nigeria. I believe that there should be a caution or a way of restructuring the police, not just creating staff. Because if you find out that there are some things that they do in the society that are very good, if you're an innocent person and you are driving on the road, how could you imagine that someone in Nigeria should have 5 phones in his car, or 3 laptops, or tattoo all around him? I'm not saying that those people are criminals, but there are tendencies that people that behave so, use drugs, probably are criminals. So there are some of the things that they do, the SARS, there are some of those functions that they do in the society that are okay. That's what they call profiling. I'm not a policeman, I'm not a security man. Those profiling for them is ascertain where you are going to, because if an innocent person, you always be conscious of security. If you are going anywhere, even in your house, wherever you are, if they tell that police is around there, you will feel comfortable, you will feel satisfied. So, but if they remove them, expose us in society, it's very bad. Moreover, there should be an organization or an institution monitoring police activities. I don't know what the police service commission is doing. I don't know what the escort is doing. So, even the police, no matter how you do it, it is them, as we normally say.
So
All right.
even
Yeah,
the judiciary
our time is
itself
fast
play a role
spent.
because the judiciary is not doing what it's supposed to do. That's why
Thank
the
you very
deputy is
much. We
treating
need
us
to
the way
step
they're
out of the
treating us.
studio. Thank
So
you very
judiciary-
much. Barrister Uche Nwokocha,
Yes.
thank you very much for the good job this morning. We do appreciate, and you're calling for proper financing of the police
Exactly.
force. So we don't need
Proper funding.
funding.
Giving them equipment, giving them for training them on forensics, and giving them the necessary laboratories to carry out their work. If we have those things in place, then we don't need the harassment we are receiving from the police.
All right. Thank you very much for being part of the program. She is in charge of the Abia State National Human Rights Commission, Barrister Uche Nwokocha. Thank you very much once again for being part of the program this morning. The program returns on Wednesday. Don't forget to catch the edition of this program on our YouTube page, Flow FM TV. And many thanks to the producer of the program, Samson Eze. My name is Michael Oni.